Sony, grant us the God of War trilogy on PC, and my life is yours. Sony, you have been holding these games hostage on your PS3 dying platform for at least a good 18 years now. Please port these games to PC, man. Because why do you leave them trapped on that ancient, on that worthless, on that forgotten, on that unknown hardware, man? Like, yo, how come that we're living in the great year 2025 and there is no God of War trilogy currently on Steam that somebody can pay $20 to afford? Like, why? Why is that not possible? The fourth and the fifth God of War games are on Steam. And no nigga knows that, oh, there are 3 other games you could play and enjoy with the complete story. But nobody can access it. Do you know why? Because Sony hasn't posted the God of War games on PC yet. Why? And you know what? As well as it sounds, there are so many other PS3 games that should have come to the PC by this point in time. Like the Resistance franchise. Like, man, how come till date Sony has been looking for a first-person shooter to represent their brand, and they have Resistance right there, and yet they don't post it? Resistance had the potential, had the power, had the aura, had the energy to overthrow Halo for a brief moment in time before Sony just like realized that, bro, we're stupid and we don't have no brain, and then they forgot the series, and now nobody cares about it again. How come the Resistance franchise cannot be ported to PC at this point? Man, this is so stupid, man. Because like, the Infamous trilogy. How come the Infamous trilogy is not on PC yet? Man, I remember back in the day when niggas were talking about Prototype versus Infamous, which is the better superhero genre out there. You know, because back then superhero games were coming out left and right, but they weren't doing their work well. Until 2 different companies out there paved the way for superhero games out there with their own characters, the Prototype character and the Infamous character. And now, till date, nobody on the PC spectrum has yet to see the insane world of Infamous, the most well-crafted stories that Sony has ever made in their lives. But no, nobody gets to experience it. Why? Because Sony is greedy and they let one of their best franchises of all time on an old, aging platform. Man, Sony, step up your game and port Infamous to the PC platform. Like, man, you have to be man. Killzone. How is Killzone not on PC yet? How is Killzone the OG first-person shooter, the OG PS2 representer, the OG Halo killer? How is that not on PC yet, man? Like, man, if you could put all Killzone games on PC right now, the love and the revival the franchise will get overnight will be fictional. But no, Sony just doesn't care. Why? Because they are greedy and they just don't care. And they are weird. Dante's Inferno. Man. You know, every time I think about Dante's Inferno, but I just think that there was a potential that Christians could break into the gaming sphere with some of the most intense and most interesting stories of all time. But do you know why they're not in yet? Because Sony's goofy ass fucked up the divine comedy, man. Like, how? How do you get a game that people reverence and claim that, wow, this is one of the best God of War clones out there, to the point that they start calling it like, nah, this actually isn't a God of War clone. This is actually a good game by its own right. Creating a world, the 7 layers of hell, detailed and well crafted on the PS3 engine. But no, Sony just doesn't care. Why? Because it's not Last of Us. It's not the newer God of War games. They just don't care about their old franchises. Like, man, bring back Dante's Inferno, put that shit on PC, and let people get to have fun on that game, man. Because Sony, I don't get it, man. Like, why are you just holding back on us? Like, you just don't care about us? Like, man, Demon Souls. You know, Demon Souls is the OG Dark Souls. And on the platform, the Souls games sell out in millions, in trillions. Sony has not put the OG Dark Souls on the platform. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how stupid that is? I'm telling you, if Demon Souls came out yesterday on the PC platform, the millions Sony could make, they'll have no idea what they're able to craft. But these niggas, they don't think, man. They just don't think. Like, man, like, pour the Demon Souls platform, the OG one, onto PC and watch how the money flows. But well, we all know Sony doesn't like money. Ashura's Wrath. Man, when Capcom pulled up CyberConnect 2 and they teamed up to create one of the most intense cinematic masterpieces of the game of all time, till date, Ashura's Wrath to be the only game that I'll consider a cinematic masterpiece because of how intense, how crazy, how downright insane the world building was, the fights were, the destruction was. Like, and you're telling me that no, Sony and Capcom cannot just team up and pop that game to PC for some reason. Because why? They just don't have the money to? Nah, I don't believe that. The Darkness. Now, everybody and their mother knows that The Darkness, the first game, was actually one of the few games back in the early 2000s that was actually able to revolutionize the engine of the PS3. Like the amount of cool shit the Darkness brought to the world of the PS3 engine was kind of insane. The lighting was insane. Having rooms that were darker than other rooms, having lights affect how you work with the universe, having a whole ass movie you can sit with your girlfriend to watch in a game. Like you could watch the movie that was in the game from the beginning to the end, and nobody could stop you. The movie didn't stop unless you stepped came out of the cutscene. But you know how crazy that shit is. That Sony, with the help of those developers, was able to create such an impressive and immersive game at the time, but just abandoned it. Why? Because so he doesn't care. Like now, the PC player base needs to get to experience an OG Darkness game, man. Next up, we have Wet. But imagine Kill Bill cross John Woo movies. That was basically the game. It was the ultimate hack and slash shooter franchise, bro. Like niggas out there trying to convert shooting games to slash games, like Wanted Dead, and they're doing that shit terribly. Where Wet was literally there. Wet created a whole dream genre that niggas don't know that they wanted, and Sony just abandoned it. Why? Because they are broke. I just don't care, man. The Sony doesn't care. They don't just care about you, man. Like, damn. Sony, you have Wet in your arsenal. Post that shit on the PC platform and watch how well it sells. But no, we don't have games anymore. We don't have IPs anymore. We don't have money anymore. We're just broke. We're just broke. Like, man, this is just crazy, man. Then we got Dragon's Crown. Vanillaware has never put in a game to PC in their life, but I feel like we have to start from somewhere. And the OG game that we shall start for is Dragon's Crown. Well, back in the day, currently now, people are enjoying a bunch of indie games that are coming out, like Hollow Knight Silksong, Nine Souls, and all those kind of indie darlings that people love. Meanwhile, the OG indie darling of the universe, the best world, best art style, best gameplay, Vanillaware, those crazy motherfuckers, sat down to create Dragon's Crown, the most immersive world I can ever see. Like, bro, in terms of world building, design, and creation, no company, except for software, comes close to Vanillaware in terms of crafting their world, bro. And now, for some odd reason, just don't get it. Why? Because Sony doesn't care. Nah, Sony, if you want to pull up with some millions in the big year of 2025, you need to post all of these games onto the PC platform and watch the money racking, bro. Now, I don't need Sony to be posting these games at $40 or $50. Nah, put it at a reasonable price. These are decade-old games, nah. Post it $20, $30 highest, and post it to the public, and watch how you're raking your millions. Now, if there are any other PS3 games out there that you want to see put on the PC platform, you can mention it in the comments below. Till good night. Good night.